Mr. Randy Duck and welcome back for another video, and today I've got a special replay to show you in the tier 10 tech tree German light tank, the Panzerwagon. Now in the upcoming season which has just been released, this tank has had a humongous buff, and what I'm going to do is, before I get into this replay to show you this tank today, I'm going to quickly tell you what they have done. So they've improved the shot dispersion penalty from during the movement and rotation from 0.11 gone to 0.09. So a slight improvement there, but they have then increased the reload from 7.4 seconds to 8 seconds. So a minor nerf to the reload, but they've increased the alpha, so they've increased it from 320 to 360. And then on your HEP rounds, your HE rounds, you've gone from 420 to 460, which has meant this tank has actually had a DPM buff, and its basic DPM has been increased from 2,595 to 2,700. So that in itself is massive, and this tank has always been good. But the thing which always really held the tank back was the ammo count, and they have improved that. They've improved the ammo count from 35 shells to 45 shells. So you've now got an additional 10 shells, which means you can load more of the HE shells because you have that 120 pen on your HE shells. And and this tank is now definitely the best tier 10 light tank in the game, in my opinion. But I've got a replay to show you today in this tank, so what I'm going to do now is get on with that replay. Okay, so the replay I've got to show you today is on the new map KolobanovII In, which is now back in the matchmaking. And if you want to see the crew and equipment setup I'm choosing to running this tank, you can see that at the bottom of the screen as I speak. You can see I do run Flash Hider, and I think that equipment is pretty OP on this tank. We are platooned up with our buddy Swindle 321 in the Foch, and there is one other enemy light tank to contend with, and an enemy artillery as well. So initially we're going to go and just, it's quite a small map, and we're just going to try and spot out the 1-2 line and see where the enemy team are playing. Now this is the assault variant, and we are defending, so we don't have to kill all the tanks to win. We just have to stop the enemy team capping before the times actually run out, and you actually have less time. You only have 10 minutes in the assault variant. So these are just things to know because it comes into play later on in this video. So we do get spotted, and we're trying to use these huts to keep ourselves unprotected until we can get undetected, and try and farm these tanks in front of us because there's only 2 tanks there. And now only one, this enemy pattern here, and if we can kill this pattern, then we can take the 1-2 area, and there's a lovely hold down spot where we can spot for our team. But we do need to try and kill this tank as fast as we possibly can, because this one tank is holding us up and we're potentially going to lose the other side. But you can see here I'm firing, I'm not even getting detected, and that is because the Flash Hider perk, because you're basically, it's basically a 35% less chance of you getting spotted when you're firing, when you've got that perk, which is pretty huge. Artillery actually looked like he took a shot at me there. I don't know if he was shooting for someone else or trying to shoot me blind. We bounced the cupola now twice off of this tank, and we really do need to take this tank out because, like I say, he's holding us up. I'm trying to do my best. I've penned this cupola. I kind of need help from my team really to destroy this tank because we are starting to lose this game, as you can see. I'll lead that shell well into his cupola. I pen him for a 3rd time. He's on about, a 2-shot to us. Can hopefully try and get another one into him, which we do, which puts him on to a 1. I do get detected, but he does get taken out by a friendly tank, and this is important because we can now push the spot for our team into this 1-2 area. We won a little bit of map control, and it is quite a powerful position that we can try and spot and maybe pick up some assistance and get a bit of information for our team where they are playing. A lot of the enemy team are playing on the other side, but they're getting held up by 2 tanks at the moment. And you can see I have spotted a few targets here, and I'm picking up a little bit of assistance there. Got about 1,000 assistance, and we're just trying to poke, but I am getting detected when I fire. But I do need to be landing these shots in whilst I can. We put another one into that enemy Death Star putting them onto a one-shot to us. We also spot the enemy artillery there, but you can see we are losing this game, but the hit points, you know, it's fairly close at this point, but it, you know, it does start to get away from us a little bit. We're going to try and get a shot into the artillery, but we don't really have a shot, and I'm bearing in mind that if we lose the other side, I might have to give this up and go back and spot for my team on the other side of the map. And I'm starting to think that might need to be the case, but I just don't want to give this up straight away. I am getting out spotted by something, and I suspect it might be a light tank, maybe running binos or something like that, because yeah, I can't seem to lose my spot to get a shot in. So I'm going to have to give this up. You know, whatever tank which is there, it's obviously stealthy, and it's kind of stopping me playing there. And I'm thinking right now, right, I want to try and kill the T-30, but he's hull down. Every time I poke, I get spotted, and I'm risking getting shot by like a nasty tank destroyer, because there's quite a few nasty tank destroyers in this game. I'm going to go back and try and spot the targets which push our base on the other side of the map, because my friendly platoon mate is there in his Foch. He's saying he's got his clip ready. If I can spot for him, I'll pick up more assistance, and more importantly, I'll stop the enemy team collapsing in us and giving up all map control, because the enemy team aren't going to push us on the 1-2, it doesn't seem. It feels like they're going to push us this side. I need to try and put a stop to that if I can, or at least try to. So we do spot this M103, we spot a few targets there. We do bounce the shots, we actually swap to a heat shell because we could pen him. But the M103 gets shut down by Swindle in his Foch. I think he takes away pretty much all of his hit points there. We put a pen into that tier 8 heavy tank, and then we do get detected. We know there is a Waffle E100 in this game, so we're trying to be careful we don't, you know, that could clip us out very, very quickly. So we do need to try and lose our spot. And it's a very close game at the moment. I'm starting to think, I wonder if that light tank has moved at the 1-2 area, sort of the A12, and I can play there. But I think I need to just keep these tanks spotted for my teammates, because I am really the vision here. I just can't push too aggressively and then just lose my tank. So I am just going to be as patient as I can. Thankfully at the moment, we managed to keep all of our hit points. I might have a shot into this Waffle, but he does lose his spot there. We swap back to our standard APCR rounds because we're going to have better shell velocity. We don't need the heat to pen the Waffle there. In fact, we probably could pen him with our HE rounds, our HEP rounds, because we have 105 penetration, but we don't have the shell velocity, and I want the shell velocity here to get shots in. Now, a few tanks here have taken the centre ground, taken the middle of the map, and we do have angles on these tanks. So I'm up to about 3,500 damage so far, 2,400 assistance. So we are having a good game. The enemy Sturm gets into cover before we're able to get shot, and we know where 3 of the 8 tanks are, and now we've spotted the enemy Avery pushing up, which is far from ideal. And I'm starting to think I might have to run here. You know, what's the best thing to do? I'm sort of talking to Sai, you know, have you got shots on these tanks? But he is ready to fire now, but the problem is he's getting in danger to get shot at by multiple targets as well if he gets detected. So it's not looking great for us at the moment, but I'm trying to stay as long as I possibly can. But I do get spotted, and now I need to get out of here so I don't get shot by that enemy Avery. Unfortunately, our friendly Decile gets taken out, leaving us into a 4 versus 7. But with only 3 minutes left on the clock here, we can still get the win if we can just survive for as long as we can. But I want to try and maximise this game and get as much out as I possibly can. I'm thinking, can I go round and take the other side? Because I think a lot of the enemy team have now pushed towards our base area. Unfortunately, Swindle gets taken out by the Leopard. And now I'm in a 3 versus 7. Things are not looking pretty right now. But I think that light tank has moved. I might have shots if I can try and move around this area. Maybe we can take out the enemy artillery here. So we're moving in. We do spot the enemy artillery. We also spot the light tank. Now I can't stay where I am or I'll get farmed by the light tank. So I'm going to have to go in on this artillery. You can see you can use this position here, which means I can't get shot at by any of the other tanks. And it looks like the artillery is actually AFK here. We swap to the HE round, so you can see it really increases our DPM if we're able to pen with that, because we've got 460 alpha. And we can pen a lot of tanks with those rounds. So we've brought this back to a 3 versus 6 with 2 minutes left on the clock here. 4,500 damage, 2,400 assistance. Now, killing this light tank would be massive. We probably could use our HEP rounds, but there's a lot of destructible cover there. And again, I'm thinking I need the shell velocity of my APCR rounds. I kind of thought, can I cross there? And I didn't want to risk it because I think I might drown. So I don't want to throw this game away. But we're in a 2 versus 6, and this is looking pretty difficult for us. Our friendly, yeah, 2 versus 6. Enemy tanks have all the hit points. It's not ideal, but there is a strong position here which I can use, where I can say hold down and maybe try and kill that light tank. As you say, we do still have all our hit points, but the enemy team have now applied cap pressure. They can't cap with 1 tank. You can see there's only 1 minute 16 seconds on the clock, but they have put 2 tanks in the cap circle, and now if I don't get the reset, I'm going to lose, which is far from ideal. But we need to kill this light tank. We actually blind fire that light tank and we hit him. We just don't pen him there. But a minute left on the clock, and I'm thinking, yeah, this game is over. I'm best just to try and maybe just kill that light tank. But as I try and move round, a tank gets out of the cap circle, and that is massive because there's only 50 seconds left on the clock. They cannot cap with 1 tank here, and I'm in a 1 versus 6 with a real possibility of a collies here, because remember, all I need to do is survive. If they don't cap out, I will win. But then they get in the cap circle again, but then someone gets out of the cap circle. I'm thinking, I just need to survive right now. If I survive, we win this game and I get the collies in a 1 versus 6. I was trying to get some shots into that tank destroyer, but now, you know, even with 2 tanks in the cap, they're probably not going to cap out in time. We've only got 13 seconds. I just need to not die. Leopard is coming around. We put a shot in which damages his ammo rack there. That is good because it's going to nerf his DPM. Might give us enough time to survive here. I'm assuming the enemy TD is going to push us, but he hasn't done so. And we do it. We cap out and we get the KolobanovIIs by cap. It felt a bit cheesy, but it's what we needed to do. We get 1 kill, 6,000 damage, 2,500 assistance. You can see there we do win the 1 versus 6, getting the higher caliber, getting the KolobanovIII medal. Didn't get an ace tanker, but I think it's because I still had tanks left in that game, so you don't get all the XP. But it was still a very big game, and yeah, win the 1 versus 6 in the end. So I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thank you for your amazing support. Happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!